Who you are today is not at all who you are going to become. Your narrative does not have to be a life sentence. You can change your narrative and change who you are at any time at all. So why are so many of us scared and afraid to challenge our norms? I see so many clients who live by a narrative. Well, I'm the baby of the family. No one expects anything of me. I didn't come from money, so I can't create it. I didn't have a private education. There were no books in our house. Many people say that. We didn't even have books, and so I grew up and I wasn't educated enough. And I tell them all what I'm going to tell you. Your life today, right now, is not your life. That is your life today. And your life today is nothing to do with your life in the future. See, your potential expands as you move towards it. And as you move towards a new potential, it never goes back. Once you move your mind to a new dimension, it cannot, or will not, does not ever go back again. And so when I was growing up, I didn't think I was clever. I certainly didn't think I was attractive. In fact, I thought I had nothing to offer the world. And I decided I'd do something very uneventful. But luckily, my own grandmother challenged me. She was the only person who really believed in me, and I always feel so blessed that I had her. And then I became a therapist, and I loved being a therapist. And I would have just stayed being a therapist probably until I was 95, until my husband said, look, you have so much to offer the world. You've got to teach this. I'd already written books. And then I had an agent who said, you need to write more books. People love your message. I'm like, me? They love my message. And suddenly I look at my life. I look at where I was, this insecure kid who thought I was hideous and stupid, to this woman who has an amazing life. I see clients, I write books, I teach my own method all over the world. I speak on TV, I speak on stages, I have a YouTube presence. And it's really hard to reconcile who I am with who I was. But that's what you have to do. Who you are, the ugly duckling, the person who thinks they're a freak, the eldest, the youngest, the one who says, well, I'm not smart. My teacher said you will never amount to anything. So many people were told, you'll never amount to anything. John Lennon was told, you are on the road to nowhere. Damien Hirst, financially the most successful artist in the world, got to fail at art. And you look at many people in life who've done so well, who weren't predicted to do well, and other people who were really bright at school, predicted to do everything and just kind of didn't do it. Because 80% of your success, 80% is down to mindset, not education, not what you look like, not where you've come from, mindset. And you are free to develop an incredible success mindset anytime you like. You know, recently I was working with a guy, I had a business. He says, well, you know, I can't fire my brother. He's my baby brother. I'm like, no, he's not your baby brother. You are 52. He is 48. As long as you call him your baby brother, as long as that is your narrative, he's my baby brother, then he will always perform badly in your company because you're letting that happen. And people have a narrative, well, I was stupid at school, I didn't pass exams, I didn't do well enough, my own teacher didn't believe in me, my teachers didn't believe in me either. Who cares? It's not important. It's important that you believe in you and you expand to another dimension by changing your narrative. And remember, the words that follow I am will follow you. When you go, I am not good enough, I'm not educated enough, who am I to do that? I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm not good with confrontation, I'm no good with numbers, I'm terrible at math. Change that to I am amazing, I am gifted, I am talented, and I don't need to be good at maths because computers do that for me. I'm not good at confrontation, but I can learn to be really good at it. You see, I was a therapist. I loved being a therapist. I was never a computer geek. I didn't know what search engine optimization even meant, but I learned it. And it's made my business even more successful. It's never too late to learn, grow, expand, and be amazing. Some of the best writers in the world had no training in being a writer, but they had an idea, rather like J.K. Rowling, and wrote something compelling that actually made children all over the world love reading. So that's a wonderful thing. Some people just wrote their own story, like the guy who wrote about living on the streets with a cat named Bob and what that's done. And you can do that too. Sometimes our narrative comes from our parents. Oh, you'll never do that. Who's going to listen to you? No one in our family has done that. That's just never going to happen. I worked with an amazing man on my course whose parents put him on the street when he was just a boy. I think about 10, could have been 12. When I asked him when did he go back, he went, no, I never went back. They didn't take me back. They abandoned me on the street, and I became a drug addict because it's the only way I could cope. And he is one of the people I trained. He's a phenomenal therapist, and he works a lot with addicts because he has a great understanding. He was on the streets. He was a drug addict. He got himself clean. He was already doing counseling. He came to train with me, and he used his great understanding of what addiction means to help people. And he told me something I never forgot. He said, people always say, well, you took drugs because you wanted to kill yourself. He said, no, for me, the only thing that kept me alive were drugs. I was living on the street. I was 12 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old. I had to be numb. I had no family to love me or protect me. And I didn't take drugs because I wanted to die. I took drugs because it's the only way that I could live. And I love the fact that he can show drug addicts the different narrative. Oh, you're not trying to kill yourself. You're actually trying to keep yourself alive. And he's incredibly successful. I'm so proud of him. We had another amazing girl, two actually, who both said, you know, I was cleaning houses, wanted I was a single parent. It's the only way I could possibly take my kids to school, pick them up, be there if they were sick. There was no other job for me that gave me flexibility and freedom and enough money to live apart from cleaning houses. But I noticed that all of my clients would tell me all their stories, all their problems, and I seemed to be really interested in them, and I'd often give them advice. Second girl who trained me, also a cleaner, said the same thing. People tell me all their woes, and I seemed to have an ability to listen and help them. And then I heard about you and thought, wow, this is a training where I don't have to have a degree. I don't have to go to college for 3 years because frankly, as a parent, I can't do that. And one of the girls wrote to me, and when I read her letter, I wrote back and said, hey, stop cleaning people's houses, now clean people's minds. And I sent her that great song, The Cleanup Woman. And she loved that. And I was telling the story at one of my events, and she was in the audience. She went, hey, that's me. I said, oh, come up on stage and tell everyone. She said, well, you'll never even guess what happened. My first client paid for my whole family to go on an all-expenses trip to Florida because she said I changed her life. And who would have thought I, a cleaner, could become a therapist? There's nothing wrong, by the way, with being a cleaner. Many cleaners are very smart, and it's actually quite useful in many ways to have a job with flexi hours, with hourly pay. But she wanted to really, really use her brain. And she's a great therapist. They both are. Those two girls, I'm not going to name names, are some of my best therapists. And they didn't have a therapy background, but they had a passion, a calling to help people. And they already had existing people skills. They listened to people's stories. They interested them. And that is a great first ability to have that you can use to become a phenomenal therapist. If you would like to change your own narrative and have a career that is amazing, that gives you meaning, connection, significance, working your own hours, click the link below. and find out how you can train in what I think is the very best job in the whole world, becoming an RTT therapist, where you don't just get to change other people's lives. Without question, you get to change your own. If you enjoyed that video, check out the next one right here. You can also click the link below right here for your free gift. The only thing you need to find love is a belief that you are lovable. Reprogram your subconscious mind for success. Remember, it has a job.